Happy Thursday, everyone. It's Lauren Barnes with the East Texas Food Bank back for another round of our Thankful Thursday series. I've got Greg with us today. Greg, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure, Lauren, and thanks for having me today. My name is Greg McCain. I'm Chief Operating Officer for Rockcliff Energy, and happy to be a part of Thankful Thursday.
Yeah. Greg, can you tell us a little bit about Rockcliff Energy?
Sure. So Rockcliff was started in 2015. We ended up acquiring some East Texas assets in the fall of 2017. We have a field office in Longview that houses about 70 people. They're actually not all in the office, but some in the field. But we've got some great folks in East Texas and have been operating there for the last 3 years, and excited to be a part of the East Texas area.
Yeah, I know it's been a few years, but welcome. We're always glad to have more great businesses and people working in our community.
Thank you. And I have some ties to East Texas. I grew up just about an hour northwest of Longview, north of Tyler. So I've been a part of East Texas for a really long time.
I love that. That kind of goes perfectly into my next question. So your company recently held a virtual food drive for the East Texas Food Bank. So can you tell us a little bit about why y'all chose to host that virtual food drive and why the East Texas Food Bank?
Sure. So not only do I have some ties to East Texas, our CEO, Alan Smith, actually started his career in Longview, so has had some ties to East Texas for most of his career. And being a part of the community, we wanted to do something to be helpful, and we've been blessed through this time, and we know a lot of people have not. So we wanted to give back to the community. We've been very fortunate. We haven't lost any of our employees. We've been very active and very busy, so we were looking for a way that our employees could get active into the community as well. So East Texas Food Bank, we know there's a lot of hunger within the area, not only within East Texas, but across the United States right now with the pandemic that's going on. And so we also wanted to look for something that gives back directly to the community. The food bank is something that our funds would stay right there. They would help the community at large right in East Texas and would be able to benefit a large number of people.
Yeah, and I did some math actually right before we got on this call, because it's not a secret, math is not my strong suit. So with the virtual food drive, that actually provides almost 125,000 meals. So if you can just think about that and all those families that are going to be affected because of your generosity.
And that was the amazing thing for us is, and just for people thinking going forward, if you're looking for some way to give back, it doesn't take a lot to be able to feed a substantial amount of mouths that really are struggling during these times.
Yeah, and the conversion we use on that is actually every dollar donated can provide up to 8 meals. If you just think about just how much food flows through our warehouse and just that purchasing power that we have. So, a dollar that we're able to spend with our vendors goes much further than a dollar if you were just to go to the grocery store. So I think that's, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off right as you were saying something, Greg.
Oh, I was saying, and that's just amazing that it can go that far.
Yeah. And that's one thing too, for anyone watching that isn't familiar with what a virtual food drive is, I'll just briefly explain that. That was something we'd actually piloted in 2019, not anticipating that a pandemic was going to happen, but it came out perfectly because we had to temporarily quarantine our community food barrels. So a lot of those community, events that would happen where everyone would donate food to us, we had to suspend those just for safety and health reasons. So we were actually able to turn that into a virtual food drive. So someone that was interested in hosting a community food drive, we could offer them to do a virtual food drive. So it's really great. We could customize a fundraising page for any person. So whether it's a business like yours with a logo, or it's just an individual, maybe it's a Sunday school class, anyone can host a virtual food drive, and we can customize it with your specific goal. So whether that's, $100, $1,000, over $15,000 like you guys were able to raise, we can do that for each individual. And then you can crowdfund for us. So when you get on there, you can see, okay, what's a representation of a pallet of green beans or some cans of peaches? So you're not actually physically bringing those items to us, but we're able to still give you that representation online. And so no matter what, the pandemic looks like and social distancing, it's a really great option that virtually anyone can crowdfund and share about the East Texas Food Bank.
And it was something that was very simple for us, and you guys made it even simpler. We're still working remotely, so we do a lot of things virtually. But being able to go to the page, a simple click, and either enter an amount or a simple click and purchase, as you said, a pallet of food or cans of green beans or whatever the item may be. It was extremely easy for us to be able to do that and send out a few emails with a link, and folks are able to go right to the page and donate it as they saw fit.
Do you have any feedback from any of your employees or customers or anyone that you shared this with about what that experience was like for them too?
I think, just like I said, it was the feedback we received is it was very simple. It was a click and you were right there to where we needed to be, which made it very simple. And I know a lot of things aren't like that. You may get lost in some of the pages that you have to go to, but this was very simple, and you guys made it very handy for us to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that was an easy process for you guys, and hopefully, able to foster, with your employees, giving back to the community and why that's so important. It really seems like it's, some core values of yourself and your CEO.
Well, we appreciate that. And that is something that we believe in a lot, and that we've tried to get everybody on board with. And I think, as you can see by the participation, that everyone at Rockcliff was very happy to donate and be able to give back to the community.
So I know you've said a lot of really great things. Is there anything else, if there's anyone watching this that isn't a current supporter of the East Texas Food Bank, just any words of encouragement that you would give them to join us in the fight against hunger?
I think one of the main things, and you mentioned it earlier, is there are lots of need from children to adults. And the main thing is that, it doesn't take a lot. Just a little bit can feed a lot of folks and provide a lot of meals. And again, as I said earlier, the good thing for us is it stays right in the community, so you can be rest assured that the dollars that you're donating are helping the community right there where you're living. Those are some of the biggest things that were important to us is as we were looking for places to put our dollars, we wanted something that helped the community right here where we either are living and or operating, and something that would go a long way to helping as many people and families as possible.
Yeah. And I know we talked about the $1 equals up to 8 meals, but we also cover 26 East Texas counties. So that's also right on your point of, even though our headquarters are in Tyler, we cover so much more than that. So there is a really great opportunity to give to one organization that has such an impact over a large area. And then additionally, every dollar donated, 96 cents goes directly towards programs. So kind of a nonprofit benchmark is 80 cents of every dollar. So we go above and beyond that. So almost 100% of your donation goes directly to those programs and those families that we're serving.
And that was something that was very important to us. As you mentioned, there are many charities that do not give back near as much as what the food bank does. And that was, again, something that was high on our radar screen that actually played into our decision.
And Greg, I know we talked about this right before the video started, but I mean, these meals are really having such a big impact on the families that we're serving. And because of the pandemic, we're now facing 1 in 4 East Texans and 1 in 3 children that are at risk of hunger. So that grew from the previous year. So we were already in a hunger crisis before this pandemic hit. And now it's just really amplified the urgent need of hunger relief in East Texas. And it absolutely would not be possible without organizations like yourself stepping up and helping feed those families.
Well, and that was a statistic that I was unfamiliar with. And I know as that gets out and people get familiar with it, that they will want to donate and they will be able to. And again, it doesn't take a lot to feed a lot of families and a lot of meals, and that's important.
And Greg, just, want to make sure I say thank you, not just from myself or the rest of the staff, but really from those families that we serve. I'm really fortunate in my position to be able to get out into the community and see our programs and work and just see how grateful everyone is. There's not a look of despair. You would think that almost it would be, but people, when they show up, are just so grateful for the food that we're able to provide. So I just wanted to make sure we said thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome. And thank you for the work that you do and getting out and helping the community and providing these meals and services for them. It's something that's greatly appreciated, and making it easy for us to be able to donate and give back to the community was helpful as well.
And for anyone watching this video, if you do want to get involved with the East Texas Food Bank, I'm actually going to drop our Join the Fight link right below us. So that'll have information like the virtual food drives that Greg and I are talking about, or other ways you can get involved with the East Texas Food Bank. We are hosting volunteer groups, small volunteer groups by appointment only with multiple new procedures to keep everyone safe with COVID in mind, and just a few other ways that you can get involved with our fight against hunger. So that'll be all right below me. And Greg, before we finish up today, is there anything else you want to add?
No, thanks again for having me today and giving us the opportunity to work with you guys.
So thank you so much, Greg.